I'm Mark. Hey, get in here, take a seat. What was that? No, it's not. No. Seems to me that somebody jumped into the gene pool when the lifeguard wasn't on duty. What's that? Give it a minute. Hey, close the door before somebody walks by. I don't want them to hear what's going on. Why? Because I'm a history teacher and I'm going rogue. As a teacher, I try to find every teachable moment, even if it was a result of last Saturday's college football game. Exactly what kind of bird is a Kansas Jayhawk? Why are the Oklahoma Sooners? What were the Tennessee Volunteers volunteering for? What's that? For what were the Tennessee Volunteers volunteering? Well, you're gonna have to watch the video. Well, that's what I said. It's not? Oh, don't end a sentence with, well, you're gonna want a different channel. You're gonna want English teacher gone rogue. Yeah, let's see how many subs that one gets. These things seem so insignificant can become something teachable for many students. Colleges select mascots that have important historical and regional significance for their schools. First things first, let's establish a stand for what a good mascot is and is not. We're not talking about the guy in the suit that does backflips or can do 68 push-ups because you put 68 points on Division II Adams State. This is for the mascot itself. Number one, does the mascot have some kind of historical or regional significance? Cajuns can only be from Louisiana. Mountaineers is significant to West Virginia. Take me home, country roads, to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Some animals are native to a specific region or state. Hey, Irvine, right on, bro. Anteaters is cool and all, but I've driven the 5, the 405, the 22, the 91, the 73, and the 57. Never seen an anteater. Zot. Number two, is the mascot original or is it overused? I don't care that Clemson won the national championship. They're still Tigers. 3 teams in the SEC are Tigers, along with Memphis and Princeton and Pacific and Grambling. Number 3, is there some kind of intimidation factor? A color is not intimidating. Neither is a tree, unless it's attacking small children like that tree in Poltergeist. On the other hand, if your mascot's on the sideline ready to attack a player from the other team, that's intimidating. If your mascot attacks the other team's mascot, that's rogue. Good boy, Bevo. One more note before the countdown. This is Division I, so you're not gonna see the Whittier College Poets, sorry Omaha, nor are you gonna see the Scottsdale Community College Fighting Artichokes. That's another list. So let's count them down. The top 10 mascots in college sports. Let's go rogue. You know, the South can't get over that whole Civil War thing. Oh, excuse me. The war of northern aggression. The South will rise again. And the SEC is proven to be the best football conference in the country. Some of its schools are still holding on to that whole Civil War thing. South, you lost. Get over it. You still get NASCAR and the Allman Brothers. You know, I'm withholding honorable mention to the University of Mississippi Rebel. An appropriate mascot if this was 1861, but this is the 21st century. Oh, do we have to discuss Ole Miss? I mean, 60,000 people packed into Vaught Hemingway Stadium all waving the Confederate flag. Ugh. Anybody else watch The Blind Side in disbelief as Michael Orr chose to go to Ole Miss to play football for a mascot plantation owner named Colonel Reb? Well, I guess it worked out for him. No, but the school that plays the Civil War history card the best, number 10, the University of Tennessee Volunteers. My great-grandfather was a Tennessee volunteer. Nepotism. Religion, man. Most of the colleges in America are originated as religious institutions. Many colleges in America are still religious, and their mascots reflect it. The Providence Flyers, the St. Mary's Gales, the Valparaiso Crusaders, the Siena Saints, that dog is awesome, and the Presbyterian College Blue Hose. Now, I grew up a Presbyterian church, and I know nothing of a blue hose. Oh, it's that kind of blue hose. Kind of a William Wallace thing. I still don't know what that's all about. But number 9 on the list has to be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The story goes like this. The president of Notre Dame University in the early 20th century was a colonel in the Union Army during the Civil War. He was walking the sideline during one of their football games. One of the coaches turned to him and said, "Hey, how's the team doing?" His reply, "They're fighting like the Irish." Let's look at the mascots that take to the seas. It will not be one of those overused pirates like from East Carolina or Hampton or Seton Hall. The Buccaneers of Charleston Southern and East Tennessee State, they're just pirates by a different name. Honorable mention to the University of New Orleans Privateers. Coming in at number 8, how could it not be? The United States Naval Academy Midshipmen. In the days of iron men and wooden ships, learning your way around a ship literally took years of study. Some parents would send their children to the seas as early as 6 years old to learn how to become a sea captain. These boys were referred to as midshipmen, so it is today. Number 7. The Virginia Cavaliers. All right, let's make the synapses fire. Connect the hemispheres of our brain. England fought a civil war during the 1600s. The Cavaliers were the supporters of the monarchy of Charles I, and they were mainly Anglican. They were fighting the Puritans. As the Cavaliers moved on a city, Rather than be hanged or burned at the stake or drawn and quartered, the Puritans would flee to America, to where other Puritans had landed before them, New England. When the Puritans got the upper hand in the Civil War and moved on a city, rather than be hanged or burned at the stake or drawn and quartered, the Cavaliers would flee to America, to where other Anglicans landed before them, Virginia. Therefore, the Virginia Cavaliers. Only problem? The Cavaliers lost, man. And Charles I was beheaded. Bummer. How about the mascots worthy of their own movie on Sci-Fi Channel? I mean, Mosquito, Sharktopus, Pranaconda? I mean, how about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets or the Sacramento State Hornets or the Richmond Spiders or the Florida A&M Rattlers? Honorable mention to the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs for their ability to shoot blood from their eyes. But if you spend any time watching Sci-Fi Channel, and I do, few things are more terrifying than mascot at number 6 on our list, the Florida Gators. A lot of mascots are based on the occupation of people in the region. Everybody's working for the weekend. Yeah, we're talking about the lumberjacks or the miners. The Wichita State Shockers celebrated those that shocked wheat to help pay for school. Perhaps the most well-known are the Nebraska Cornhuskers, but our best mascot based on work, number 5 on our list, has got to be the Purdue Boilermakers. Hey, what are you doing after the game? I'm gonna go husk some corn. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna go make a boiler. I'm gonna weld it to a train. Then I'm gonna drive that train home with your girlfriend. Have fun husking your corn. One more animal on our list. Again, looking for something regionally significant. We're talking the antelopes of Grand Canyon University, the rams of Colorado State, the bison of North Dakota State, Marshall University. Leaves us asking, thundering herd of what? Honorable mention here goes to the Colorado Buffaloes. Anybody else ever get screamed at by a park ranger in Yellowstone when they took their 2-year-old in their arms and walked towards a herd of buffalo? Just me? No. The migration pattern of the buffalo goes far beyond the state of Colorado. Nevertheless, when you see Ralphie running across the football field before a CU game, freaking amazing. 5 guys holding on to the reins, they think they're controlling him. Only one animal mascot can beat Ralphie. Number 4 on our list, the Texas Longhorns. When some of the cattle brought to America by the Spanish got away from their owners, they bred prodigiously and developed longhorns after many generations. What is more representative of Texas than the Texas Longhorn? Maybe the cowboys that drove the Longhorns out of Texas along the Chisholm Trail, but that's from a previous list. In 1917, the Texas Longhorn mascot was kidnapped by Texas A&M students after a game, and the Aggies branded him with the final score of a previous game, 13-10. Upon his return, the Texas students altered the insult, making the 13 into a B, the hyphen into an E, and the 10 into a VO, and gave the mascot his current name, Bevo. Did you know that a flock of crows is referred to as a murder? I had no idea. How awesome would that be? The Montgomery State Murder. We generally don't want to promote criminal activity for the future leaders of our country. Hey, isn't that Vancouver? Vancouver, what the hell? You're supposed to be like Seattle's more responsible older brother. Oh yeah, crime. You don't find schools cheering on the robbers or the felons, but if the University of Idaho chooses to call its teams the Vandals, that's up to them. The best criminal mascot in college athletics, though, number 3 on our list, the Oklahoma Sooners. From the 1830s through the Civil War, Oklahoma was Indian territory, an expansive Native American refuge from white intrusion. When the native nations of Indian territory threw in their lot with the Confederacy during the Civil War, then lost, the United States put an end to the Indian territory, opening Oklahoma up to white settlement at noon, April 22nd, 1889. After noon on that date, Americans, boomers, could rush into Oklahoma and stake a claim. The faster into the territory, the better the land. But punishment for whites entering Oklahoma before the allotted time was severe. Some people took their chances, though, sneaking in illegally, undetected by the U.S. government, sooner than anyone else. Just as the Wisconsin Badgers is not a reference to the ferocious rodent, my number 2 on the list, the Kansas Jayhawk, is not a bird. In 1854, the Kansas territory was preparing for statehood. This was a time of tension in the country as it was rushing headlong towards civil war. Rather than designate Kansas a slave state or a free state, Congress let the people of Kansas territory to decide what their status would be. What followed was a period of unprecedented violence within Kansas between supporters of slavery and those opposed to slavery. Those that opposed slavery in Kansas were termed Jayhawkers. The most famous was the radical abolitionist John Brown. 400 people were killed in the events that came to be termed Bleeding Kansas, and these were recognized by many to be the first shots of the Civil War. Starting in the 1960s, there was a movement to remove Native American names as mascots. As a white guy, I can't truly have empathy for Native Americans. Names like the Stanford Indians or the Marquette Warriors or the St. John's Redmen, Miami of Ohio Redskins, William and Mary Indians. These are derogatory, and the schools were correct to change those mascots. Growing up in the 1970s and 80s, I was fascinated by the schools that used a specific Native nation to represent their team. I took it as a history lesson, hearing about the Eastern Michigan Hurons and the North Dakota Fighting Sioux. A few schools still use a specific Native nation. The University of Illinois Illini, the University of Utah Utes. Honorable mention to the Central Michigan Chippewas. But few things in college sports are more awesome than watching Chief Osceola ride out to the 50-yard line at a sold-out Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee and throwing that flaming spear down in front of his opponent. I was the activities director at a school that had a Native American mascot, and I went to my principal with the idea of having a person in a Native American regalia ride out on a horse before a football game and throw a flaming spear down in front of the opponent. He told me, no, that would be too intimidating. Isn't that the point? The actual Seminole Nation in Florida supports FSU's use of the Seminole mascot. The dress of Osceola and the paint of his horse Renegade are designed and constructed by members of the surviving Seminole Nation. Even the ceremony, throwing the spear into the ground, was designed by the Seminole Nation. How appropriate for the one Native nation to never be defeated by the U.S. Army. The actual Chief Osceola was captured by the U.S. Army after arriving at what he was told was going to be a peace negotiation. Why do we cheat? Number one, the best, most original, most intimidating, most appropriate mascot in all of college athletics, the Florida State Seminoles. So, am I correct? Did I miss an awesome nickname? Are you upset because your school didn't make the list? Let me know in the comments below. More importantly, I hope you learned something new about the history of the world that you live in. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you want. Thanks for stopping by. I want to thank my producer, Michael Cox, and I figure this would be an appropriate time to congratulate him as he is headed off to Idaho State University in the fall to play football for the Pokey Cats. Well done, Michael. You deserve it. I also want to thank Mr. Brent Allen for letting us use his studio here on the campus of Columbia High School. I hope you had fun. I sure did, but I won't quit my day job, and I hope to see you again real soon. I'm Mark Haggard. I'm a history teacher, and I've gone rogue. Idaho State Bengals. That's just a tiger by another name. No, they're not from Cincinnati. They're from South Asia, like Bangladesh.